Hey, what's going on, everyone? Here we are again, starting on something else without finishing other stuff. But, you know, the grind can't end. Here we are with the 09 WRX. Just yoinked the engine out. I didn't find any sense of recording this, only because, well, this thing was pretty much already out. All I had to do was take out the two engine mount nuts and then just yank it off. The guy I bought this from, he almost had the thing out to begin with, but I don't know why he didn't finish. I also don't know why he was trying to take the transmission out along with it. Find that rather odd. And just a lot of odd stuff as to, you know, he didn't have to take off. Like, why was he trying to take this off? Why was he... Whatever. Also, he somehow took the clutch out before taking the engine out? I don't know how the hell he did that. A lot of weird stuff going on with this. He said there's a hole somewhere in the block here, which I also don't see. I'm gonna throw this onto a stand. I guess start ripping into it. I don't know what else to do today. But yeah, I'll be back in a second. You know, Warren Sapp once said, "Hey, it's Warren Sapp." Kind of sad that this engine, well, we're stealing the stand that this engine was on. Now I gotta buy a new stand, but it's nice that this is already pretty much lined up to attach this engine. I mean, they are the same engine, except that one's from 03 or 04 and this is 2009. But I also realized I never tightened these, so whatever, we'll tighten them now. Batteries on the impact gun died. Well, one fully died. I never got to. Well, I'm gonna shut the hell up and just, you know, do this. Little update for everyone. Got the timing belt off. Timing gear's off. I'm starting to pick this thing apart. I was gonna knock the exhaust off, but I'm fairly confident in what I believe happened to this thing. There's some weird damage there. Weird damage there. I'm not sure what was going on here. Maybe someone was inside of this thing at one point. Actually, definitely was inside this at one point. That doesn't look like factory cock. So, I'm thinking this timing belt slipped, jumped, what have you. Maybe they over-revved it. Guy said it stopped on him when he was racing or some BS, you know, he's mentally deficient people. Always like to make up some crazy story. So yeah, I didn't even have to take the the tensioner off or anything. I just pulled the belt off, which might be the indication that that thing's stretched out. Although Subaru belts aren't that tough to put on and take off, but that was exceptionally easy to just yank off. So I'm thinking timing slipped, or timing belt slipped, and we have piston hitting valves. So I expect when we get these heads off, see some bent valves, some damage on the top of the pistons. So I was wrong. Oh my heavens. I've never seen a Subaru blown up this way. I still haven't found a hole. Supposedly there's a window in this thing. Wow, that is bad. Wow. Yeah, I drained the oil and some coolant came out. That is bad. Jesus Christ. Well, I guess I have to use that STI block I have. Wowza. That is some serious destruction, wow. It's a sad day. Bills lost to the Eagles just now. So we're a little bit under the weather, but it's also about damn time. We are known for doing Subarus, and finally we're doing a Subaru. This is a block we picked up for a couple $100. It has a rod knock, but that's fine because we were gonna build an engine anyways. I don't know if anyone follows us on TikTok. It showed the destruction of the original engine out of that WRX, but we're gonna rip this thing apart and build it up and try to make I don't know, try to make some power. But yeah, that's that. Let's rip into this. All right, where did we leave off? I think we had just torn this engine apart. Found this nice cream pie surprise. But a lot has happened since then. We ordered a bunch of stuff, and we sent some stuff out to the machine shop, like the crank and the rods, pistons to get balanced. That was all the balancing that needed to be done. So it turns out our stuff that we got was pretty good. Wanted to do that just for peace of mind because none of this stuff went together. Head's resurfaced. Now, oh, these are the heads that we pulled off that engine. I cleaned them up, scrubbed them down real good, jerked them off. But when that piston let go, we had a little bit of contact on the piston and the valves, so our intakes were bent. Exhaust were, I think, slightly bent as well. Now, if we were to have the machine shop just go through these heads completely, valve job, everything, it would have cost around 1,400 bones. I don't really have that money. So I thought I'd give it a shot myself. Took all the valves and springs out. I picked up this old girl from some boomer. He screwed me a little bit because he told me he used this thing for everything. He used it to do a bunch of diesel stuff. He said he used it for small engines, everything. He used it to masturbate, but that was a lie. Our valves would not fit in this chuck, so we had to get this little adapter. I don't know if anyone has any of these old machines, but this Beam equipment and supplies, they had what we needed to get a smaller chuck to fit our smaller valves. So yeah, I've been monkeying around with this thing for a few minutes here, getting it set up. Like I said, I got a bunch of valves lying around. Tested it out. Angle's good. Finish is pretty good. So I'm gonna start. I'm probably just going to do the exhaust. Just cut them and lap them in. The seats are a little beat up, but not like the valves themselves. The valves are trash. So we're gonna cut some valves, lap them in and send it. Hopefully it all goes well. I have very high hopes for this. It's actually a real tight machine. I could even give you an example. There is little to no run out. I don't even think it's a thou. Oops. It's almost nothing. So that guy didn't really screw me as far as the operation of this thing goes, but that did hold us up for a little bit. I had to wait, I think, a week for that to come in. But let me get to this. Look at that. Took off just enough. Just to get rid of that nastiness. Alright. How many more? 7 more to go. Now just grinding the surface, the sealing surface, isn't the only step you need to take here. Now that we did that, the valve will sit further up into the head. So it'll stick, the top of the stem will stick out further. Now that is an issue because these don't have lifters. to take up that little bit of space, or a little bit of difference. Now I need to measure from the top of the bucket to the round part of the cam. What I looked up, it needs to be around 10 thousandths shim, or 0.01 whatever, or 0.25-ish millimeters. This is really slow and boring, really non-exciting. I'm not like shaking my wiener around or anything, so I'm gonna do all this stuff and I guess assemble the head, whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Now, I don't know if I explained this before, but what I'm doing here is not the best practice. Obviously, the best fix would be to take this to a machine shop and do all the work, you know, measure the guide, cut the seat, cut the valve, so it all matches. I just so happen to be lucky, and our seats were in very nice shape, relatively speaking. Valves were trashed, and if you also want to be a crazy person, these things are out there. I found one not too far from our shop, and this wasn't that bad of an experience. But this head is done. As far as the exhaust, I'm just gonna lap the intake, and yeah, that's that. And these obviously clean everything again, put these heads together, and they should be done. Very happy at how this turned out. When I saw these valves, man, oh boy, I thought it was gonna be over for this project before it even started. But it turned out all right.